The spoilers for chapter 14 are just around the corner, and while rereading the last chapter, I got my hands on something that could be a huge hint for Orochimaru's return to the story. Right when Kashin Koji's toad got captured and he finishes looking at Boruto, a text effect can be seen in the hideout, which most likely reflects the arrival of a person. Not to mention Koji is looking in the same direction as well, which may be a hint that someone is actually coming for him. The reason I believe this person visiting the hideout is none other than Orochimaru is because it's one of his abandoned places and he could have somehow figured out there's some activity going on there. So Orochimaru uniting with Koji and possibly lending him a helping hand would make Boruto's alliance more stronger. Together they could figure out different ways to handle the Shinju situation and how they could aid Boruto in dealing with them. Orochimaru must be researching the Sasuke clan and maybe the Ten Tails too, so he could have some intel that would come handy to Koji. Now if it's actually Orochimaru, then the question remains whether it's his first time visiting this hideout, or is he secretly playing a vital role behind the scenes all this time? Well, some hints to conclude Orochimaru was already involved with Boruto and Koji include the accessories worn by the prodigy. The Uzumaki amulet is something Orochimaru could have obtained from the abandoned shrines of this clan, and just like how he gave an aesthetic update to Sasuke back in the day, he must have done the same to Boruto with all these accessories. And the cherry on top to all of this could be the reveal of more Uzumaki lore in the story. It's not like Orochimaru would simply give this amulet to Boruto without giving him any background of his clan or anything like that, so a flashback of the snake stage giving us insights on the forgotten Uzumaki clan is also plausible. If you have watched my video on this topic, you must be knowing that the plot point of reality warping has been connected to this clan for various reasons, and the only person in my eyes who could have figured out something about the memory change is none other than Orochimaru. There are even theories of him having Sasuke roots due to his white skin color, which could have led to his immunity from Aida's spell, making him the best candidate to help out Boruto and Koji. Some more reasons that make it believable for Orochimaru to return and form alliance with the duo has something to do with how the rivalry is being set up between Boruto and Kawaki. Basically, the Red Karma wielder has a genius scientist on his side who would be too afraid to mistreat him just because he holds the DNA of his daughter. Without Kawaki, Amado can't revive AKB, so he would most likely try his best to not disappoint him. In a nutshell, this means the old man is on Kawaki's side. Koji's place is being fulfilled by Aida for Kawaki, as she is able to provide him real-time updates of major events, while Koji can predict what's coming for Boruto with a good amount of accuracy. Both of these people use Shinjutsu to help their close ones, and Kawaki having a genius scientist in his group would be unfair for Boruto. That's why I believe Orochimaru could soon make his return to Two Blue Vortex as a good guy. The next hint for his comeback has something to do with Sasuke's current state in the story. Orochimaru must be intrigued to see Sasuke turn into a tree, and he could have done his research to find a solution to bring him back, and here is something which adds up to this possibility. Boruto said to Kawaki that he needs the Soul Thorn to revitalize Sasuke, but how exactly did he get this knowledge? I understand Koji's prescience could have helped him to see a possible future where they revive Sasuke, but won't that make prescience a power that literally has solution to every problem? The cyborg has seen the awakening of a new Shinju already, and even the futures where the planet gets destroyed and Boruto is killed. A sneak into the future where Sasuke was successfully revived is something that I don't think he may have foreseen, only because most of the futures he saw were dark and destructive, and seeing a possibility where the odds are in favor of the good guys would decrease the tension from the plot. So there must be some other way for them to figure out how the Soul Thorn can be utilized, and the person who could have helped them in figuring that out is obviously Orochimaru. Well, if you think that was the final hint to conclude the involvement of this OG character, then you are mistaken. He could be among the very few people who have figured out the divine shift of omnipotence. I think so because he had access to Mitsuki's memories in the anime. This means he can cross-check all his life events, and upon finding inconsistencies, he must have started his journey to find out the truth, where he stumbled upon Koji and Boruto, and rest is history. We also have the symbolic meaning behind the union of Kashin Koji and Orochimaru is technically a reunion of the legendary Sanins for the sake of bringing up the true savior of this world. Now here's a theory that may be a reach, but looking at the ongoing events in the story, it somehow makes a good amount of sense. I believe the whole Kashin Koji and Shinju's plot has been inspired from Jiraiya's struggle with the 6 paths of pain and Akatsuki. There are many hints that advocate this possibility, starting from the appearance of all the Shinjus resembling the 6 paths of pain. Then we have Jura the boss diverting his attention to Kashin Koji, and this switch in his plans being so important that he literally left his main goal, which was to get rid of Boruto. In other words, the Shinju may be more serious about killing Koji than Boruto, after realizing he is the source of all his knowledge. Going by this analogy, Koji would either be trapped by the Shinju gang or he would go on a self-destructive mission to fight them himself, which would obviously be dumb at many levels. So I think there's more chance for them to hunt him down and get him killed. Now if Orochimaru is involved with Koji and history is repeating itself, then he could somehow form a temporary alliance with these creatures to know more about them. Or if that's not the case, then he would certainly help Koji and Boruto with his research. Let me know what you think about Orochimaru's return in the comments down below. Now the next possibility for who may be Orochimaru's visitor can be traced back to the anime. Kakashi confronted Koji in the anime and even said that he would soon find out who's behind that mask. Not to mention, this chapter marks the return of Sakura as well, so maybe the two most important OG characters will have a comeback in the same chapter. If only Kishimoto decides to play out this setup from the anime where he made Kakashi confront Koji. The sharp intellect of Naruto's sensei could have made him figure out the omnipotence spell, which may be why he went on his mission to search for Koji's hideout that he finally found. Kurachi, the former writer of Boruto, has already teased a major role for Kakashi way back in 2017, so I believe his return taking place around this time is a vital possibility. Some even say Kakashi may return as a Shinju in the story, and the cliffhanger was not for the Shinki looking Shinju, but actually Kakashi sensei, who was promised a huge role in Boruto. But how true could that be? It's actually weird that so many developments happened in this story, yet the really important characters from the original series like Tsunade and Kakashi are nowhere to be seen. Looking at how the Shinju plot was successful at utilizing side characters, it's very likely for these new creatures to provide some limelight to any character, but whether the mysterious role of Kakashi was hinting at the Shinju awakening or something else is a mystery that only time can answer. In a recent interview, Kishimoto revealed that Ikimoto has been handling most of the scripting part of the story, and while Kurachi made this foreshadowing, we didn't see any hints about Kakashi in the story during the time when he was writing Boruto. So either his script got dropped or he already knew what's in the works for the future of the story. But if Kakashi's plot was actually an idea that got rejected by Kishimoto, then maybe the return of Naruto's first sensei would never get canonized. Keeping all these blazing possibilities aside, it could even be that this sign was signifying the return of Koji's toad to the hideout. If not that, then it may be a claw grime appearing at the base, which means Koji is in danger and the next chapter would have a bunch of action. So it's either gonna be a lore heavy chapter or an action packed, since we have got 3 to 4 people who could spit a lot of new intel, starting with Boruto, who could give us more clarity on how to deal with the Shinjus and the utilization of the soul thorns to revive the victim. Further, he could be defending himself against the allegations of Konoha by using counters such as why Sasuke would have helped him if he was in the wrong, or the whereabouts of Naruto's body if he has actually killed him. Then we have Koji and his mysterious visitor, who would also reveal a lot of lore and the next moves that need to be followed from this point. After that, we have the new Shinju, and as we know, the last time these people had a group conversation, a lot of stuff was unveiled about their new plans, like the need to capture Naruto, Konohamaru, Sarada and Aida before devouring Boruto and Kawaki. One big reveal we should definitely expect is the target of the 5th Shinju, and who it's going to be would really depend on the human who got his life sacrificed for his formation. If it's Shinki, then this new dude is coming for Gaara, or maybe Mitsuki, considering the events of the Chunin exam arc where they both had a brawl. A few more things we should expect from this chapter is the involvement of the cyborg siblings after a very long time. Aida wanted to have a talk with Boruto, and now that he's here, she could do it to understand everything more clearly, whether it's his purpose or how he got so strong and things like that. One thing I was wondering is that why couldn't she simply use the Senringan to look back to the time when Koji met Boruto? In this way, she could know everything about him beforehand and won't necessarily need to have a conversation. But maybe the reason the plot is setting her up to meet Boruto is due to the setup of the bug Shinju who wants to devour Aida. If Masuri and Mamushi make their entry to Konoha anytime soon, they could find both Aida and Konohamaru under one roof, and that's maybe why Boruto's interrogation is so important to the story. A few things that I believe could take place with these Shinjus and their instinctual targets is really interesting. Masuri would most likely devour Konohamaru to show us what happens when a target gets devoured. Mamushi might get destroyed by Daemon just to establish that Shibai's DNA is still superior to Shinju. Hidari might end up on the right track, betraying his leader Jura just to help out Sarada, reflecting what happens when a Shinju passes down his powers. The role of the new Shinju is a mystery that I leave to you guys. Comment down below what you think about his utilization to the plot, and don't forget to check out these videos for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.